Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be living and speaking your truth. Well, I've got one email I'm going to go through with you today, and this is a guy I've been coaching for a few months here. And he's going through some difficult things because once he was actually married for a couple of decades, and once he decided to leave his wife, one of his kids is giving him shit about it basically. All of their couples friends, in other words, friends that he and his ex-wife-to-be used to go out with, now kind of want nothing to do with him. And so at times he's feeling a little lonely, even though he's having a really great time with all the new women that he's dating. He's kind of like a teenager because he has so many great options, which is awesome, but he still kind of struggles with the fact that he's not really getting along with his daughter. His daughter's obviously pissed off at him because he chose to leave his wife and break up the family. But the bottom line is he just wasn't happy. So I've got a quote that I wrote on this particular topic, and then I'm going to go through that, and then we're going to go through his email. And the quote says, "You often will be attacked by everyone you know when you start living and speaking your truth if you have always lived your life by trying to go along to get along and make other people happy at your own expense. People who are weaker or who generally don't believe in themselves tend to attack those who they perceive as being stronger and more successful than themselves. Tearing down others who are more successful and happy is simply a way that unsuccessful and unhappy people make themselves feel better about their mediocrity. The reality is that they are simply reaching out for leadership by questioning and attacking those who they envy or want to be like. Since they don't believe in themselves, they are really looking for someone who is stronger to believe in. By not letting haters or weaker people diminish you in any way, you communicate your leadership and infallible belief in yourself by your superior example. When they can't tear you down, you then become the person they can believe in since they don't believe in themselves." In other words, a lot of time when people are hating on you, they're really just testing you to see what you're really made of. And when they see that no matter what they say or how many insults they throw at you, you're still going to have a smile on your face and you're really not going to give a fuck what they have to say, then they realize that they can't uncenter and they can't diminish you. And you'll either win them over or they'll just simply bounce out of your life. I remember I had a guy, this was back when I was in college, I think it was like 18 or 19, I was taking a PE class. We had to have like one class of physical education. I took racquetball. And I had this guy, he just didn't fucking like me at all. And when we would get on the court and we would play together, he would beam me with the fucking ball. And he'd be like, "What are you going to do about it?" And I imagined taking my racket and fucking beating his head into his brains were all over the ground. I mean, I thought about shit like that. And I thought, well, I'd get arrested. I'd get kicked out of school, and it just wasn't a good thing. And so I would laugh it off and be like, whatever, dude. And it was interesting over the course of a couple of weeks of him doing that, I realized I just laughed it off and it wasn't that big a deal. I didn't let him, obviously the ball stung, but I also wasn't going to get into a fight and jeopardize my college just because he's a fucking bitch, basically. And the interesting thing that happened after a couple of weeks, he actually started being really nice to me, wanted to be on my team when we played against other people, and would even defend me to others. Like if somebody looked at me cross-eyed or gave me a dirty look, he'd say, he'd jump in their face and said, "Don't fuck with my boy. Don't fuck with Corey." And I won him over just by being myself and using humor and not letting shit get under my skin. And, I found that it's always best to resolve those things. And like I said, I won this guy over. Now, if he's fucking punching me and shit like that, obviously I'd fucking take his ass out. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he's beaming with a little fucking rubber ball, and he did it, I don't know, 5 or 6 times, and I just laughed it off, and it wasn't that big a deal. And at the end of the day, when he hit me with the fucking ball, I scored a point. So he lost, so let's go ahead and jump into his email. It says, "Hey Corey, I really have problems handling my broken family. We all have summer holidays here, and for 2 weeks I was vacationing with my 2 children. The rest of the time, 4 weeks the children went with my ex-wife to Jamaica, sort of a rebound vacation for her. It was very expensive and mostly paid for by me. It is okay for me, and they had a great time. I had wonderful weeks as well while they were away here at home, having all these adventurous dates. I found new friends. I went kite surfing all the time, and it was just awesome. Good for you, dude. You're living your life. You're out there doing what you really want to do for the first time in your life, instead of being a pleaser and kissing everybody's ass and trying to live up according to other people's expectations. He says, last weekend I was off on an island with my best friend, and I had there at the beach a new first date, quite promising. Again, it was a wonderful experience. It seems I have found the right recipe of just being myself, staying calm, and patient bantering and teasing with women a lot. This particular woman, she started out very reserved, but after 7 hours at the beach, we made out and went hand in hand back. She said, I can't believe I'm doing this. I really like this date, but it was really unexpected and new to me. In other words, she's saying, wow, this is the first time since I can remember that I actually went out on a date with a guy who knew how to act like a fucking man. That's a huge compliment to you, dude. Good fucking job. He says, so I think this is what you call an abundant life. I would say so, bro. You're doing amazing. He says, then I went back and saw my family for the first time after their vacation. The kids were quite okay. My ex was totally distant at first, then we talked a bit, and she again started throwing only shit at me. So when she gets nasty, say, baby, I'm happy to talk, I'm happy to listen and communicate, but raising your voice at me, yelling at me, that's just ridiculous. That needs to stop. We need to be loving and we need to be respectful. Yeah, I understand I was the one that wanted to end our relationship, but I mean, if you're honest with yourself, like I've been honest with myself, our relationship could have been a hell of a lot better. And the bottom line is what I want and what you want, our goals and our values just simply were not aligned. You deserve to have somebody that you're crazy about and who feels the same way about you. And I want the same thing. I don't want somebody that it just feels like we're roommates living together and not crazy about one another. Our kids are at the age where they're starting to date or going to be dating in the next few years. And both of us need to provide a great example of a solid relationship where both of us are happy and in love with our partners so they can go and emulate that. I don't want our kids to grow up and have an average or mediocre relationship. I want them to have a spectacular relationship. I want them to be really happy. You deserve to be happy, and I deserve to be happy. And it's obvious, if we're both honest with ourselves, that things really weren't that great. They sucked for a long period of time. And I'm happy to listen. I'm happy to hear what you have to say. But I'm not going to put up with you being abusive or nasty to me. If that's the way you're going to be, then I'll leave and we can talk some other time when you calm down. I've made the decision and the choice in my life that my life is going to be a drama-free zone. We've got 2 wonderful children together. We spent 2 decades together. We should be able to end this marriage with love so we can be respectful of one another, because we're always going to be in each other's lives because of the kids. So if you got something you want to talk about, you want to get off your chest, I'm happy to listen, baby. I want you to be happy. I want to hear what you got to say, but the hating and the insults, that shit's got to stop, because I'm just simply not going to put up with it. You got to put your foot down and let her know the boundaries, and if she doesn't stop, then you leave and just say, give me a call when you calm down and you're ready to talk about this like in an adult manner. He says, she says I've been brutal, cold, egocentric, insane, ill, I destroyed her life, and so on. Bottom line is, you had the courage to end a marriage that just wasn't a happy one. He says, I think I was no ideal husband. I was often too weak, and there were a few things in the end where I wasn't 100% honest, but at the end of the day, before the breakup, I never cheated on her, never hooked up, or even kissed another girl. And I was working my ass off for the family. They still live a lot on my income. They live in our huge house that belongs in the biggest part to me, and here I am living in a super small mini house in the mountains. I left without having someone new lined up. Maybe that makes it even worse because my wife has no one else to blame. But you're going to say, I understand it. I was the one that ended this marriage, but the bottom line is we weren't happy. that's it. And it's like, it's pointless to continue on when we're just acting like roommates and not crazy passionate lovers. We each deserve that. And our children deserve to see that. And it's, after 20 years together, it's just not going to happen. If it's not there, it's not there. It's been a great experience for both of us. I couldn't be the man that I am today without the amazing experiences that I've had with you. I want more for myself. I want more for you. And we're going to each be able to find that eventually. And we should love one another and support one another and encourage one another to go for the things that we really want in life without all this hostility and this nastiness. It's just unnecessary. Remember, no one will ever do or say anything that isn't a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves in a moment. So when your ex-wife-to-be is projecting this stuff on you, she's projecting her pain. She's hurting, obviously, because you are ending the relationship. And a lot of times when people use hurt and they lash out, she's trying to make you feel guilty. Because deep down, she's hoping that you're going to come back by her making you feel guilty. So you've got to be congruent and be consistent and let her know that in a loving way that you're not going to change your mind, that you've made the right decision for you. He says, that is all quite okay for me. I still love and care for them, but I would feel better if I was acknowledged more for this. Well, tell her, say, you know what, I would really appreciate the fact if you just say, hey, you know, thanks for paying for the vacation. Thanks for letting us and the kids live in the house, and I know you're paying more of the expenses of it, but I want you to know I really appreciate that because I know you legally don't have to do that. Just say it would be nice if you could thank me for that and acknowledge me for that. It'd be cool. But at the end of the day, you can't expect her to do it. If she's not going to do it, she's not going to do it. Because obviously she's still pissed off and hurt right now. He says, I have problems to cope with this permanent shitstorm. Well, I said if you address things like I just discussed, it will definitely, don't put up with it. Let her know that if she's sweet and loving and communicates like an adult, she gets the gift of your time. Your time is the most precious gift you can give to anybody. But if she's an asshole and she's constantly busting your balls about it, then she's going to get the gift of missing you because you're not going to stand there and fucking take it. He says, my son is okay with me, but my daughter is also quite rude and pissed off. Any ideas on how to handle this? Take your daughter out to dinner. Take her out and spend the day with her and say, we're going to do whatever you want, baby. You want to go to the mall? You want to go shopping? You want to go to the hair salon? You want to get your nails done? Whatever you want. We're going to have a father-daughter date, and I will take you anywhere you want to go. The point is, I want to have a great time. No matter what we do, it's all up to you. Let's go have a kick-ass time. And we'll do whatever you want. And get her to talk. And just say, honey, I can tell you're mad at me. You're kind of bitchy to me at times. And, obviously you're hurt and you're upset about something. So talk to me. What's in your heart? What are you feeling? And if she starts to be rude and disrespectful, you got to stand up to her and say, don't talk to me that way. I'm your father. I'm not some jackass, some homeless person on the street that you're treating harshly. I'm your father. If you're hurt, you're upset, let's talk about that. I want to know what's in your heart. And she's like, well, I'm really mad at you for breaking up the family. Maybe partly she might feel deep down that maybe it's something that she did to cause you to want to leave. A lot of times when families split up, the kids take it personally. They think it's their fault. So you have to let her know that it has nothing to do with her, that you left because bottom line is you and her mother are just simply not happy and you want something better for the both of you. And that you want to find somebody that you're really crazy about and who feels the same way about you. So not only can you be happy, but you'll be a great example for her to emulate when she gets into a relationship down the road. Say, I want you and your brother to have relationships that are 1,000 times better than what your mother and I had. You deserve that. Every parent wants the best for his children. It's like, treat all women the same. I mean, I think you said she's like 16, 17 years old. So bottom line, you got to get her to talk. What else, honey? Tell me more. And let her talk. Let her get it out of her. Let her vent. And when she gets to the point where she's like, I'm so glad we talked, Daddy. I feel so much better. I love you. It's like, I love you too, Princess. Come here. And give her a hug. But you got to spend some time with her. Some one-on-one time. Do the same thing with your son. Go take your son for the day and just the two of you go do whatever the hell he wants to do. Theme parks, whatever. Shoot some pool, throw some darts, do some guy shit. Ride some four-wheelers, ATVs, do some kite surfing, hang gliding, jump out of an airplane, whatever. Go do something fun with your son. Whatever he wants to do, just take him and do it. And do the same thing with your daughter. At least once a month, have a day that is all about them individually. Just you and your daughter one day, you and your son another day. Spending time with them would be huge. He says, in essence, I think there will come new friends, but sometimes these times I wished I had a more stable dating contact. He says, I lost nearly all of my couple friends, it seems. They seem to think I'm contagious or outright dangerous. Well, think about it. Obviously, these women are looking at you and realizing that you've left, and they can see on your face that you're a hell of a lot happier now. And remember, like tends to attract like. Well, if these are your couple friends, more than likely, a lot of these couples that you hung out with, probably their relationships kind of suck or mediocre as well. And these women don't want their husbands to get any ideas to become like you, to leave, and because so you literally are a direct threat to their marriage and their relationship. So it's understandable. So you got to take that into consideration. At the end of the day, if they really cared about you, if you were really a good friend to them, they wouldn't be booting you out of their lives. He says, sometimes in these times, I wish I had a more stable woman that I was dating, a shoulder to relax on her. He says, at the moment, I'm dating 4 hot women who are all about 80% of what I'm looking for. But up to now, it's not the full package like the Latin woman that I dated before who ended up got back together with her husband. But still, it's a totally cool experience. They all try to ask me in one way or another if I'm seeing other women. It feels like they want to lock me down or at least date exclusively. Well, this is really a luxury problem to have, but I'm afraid to get too serious too soon. Take your fucking time, dude. You just got out of an unhappy 2 decades long marriage. It's no fucking rush, bro. It's your life. Live it according to your expectations. If a woman wants to get serious and you don't want to, because you're going to be challenged with this because you spent 2 decades with somebody who you were constantly giving up the things that you wanted to do in order to try to make them happy. And all you did in the process was make yourself miserable. So the way the universe works, the universe is going to keep bringing you circumstances and people that test that weakness that you've had until you get to the point where you just simply are unwilling to compromise your goals and your values and your dreams for the sake of making somebody else happy. You got to make yourself happy first. You got to be selfish in that particular way. He says, if I try to talk about this, especially with my female friends, I get back that it is basically not okay to even date 4 women. Any ideas in these topics? Well, a lot of women really don't understand attraction and how it works and why they're attracted to certain guys and why other guys totally turn them off. And at the end of the day, this is your truth. This is how you want to live your life. And you gotta be firm with them as well. Just say, I appreciate our friendship, but you know what? The constant busting my balls about the fact that I'm dating 4 different women, I want you to, if you're a real true friend, you'll support me. You want me to date a lot because you want to see me happy and in love. And another thing you got to consider about these female friends of yours, what is their relationship like? If they're in a mediocre relationship and you're looking for something spectacular, well, they're going to try to get you to do what they've done, which is settle. So you got to take that into consideration. Remember, the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the expectations of your peer group. And if a lot of the people that have been your friends in the past, that came into your life when you were at a place where you were settling in your relationships, there's a really good chance that a high percentage of those people have also settled in their relationship. And so therefore, they see you doing all these things and making yourself really happy. Of course they're going to have a problem with it because they're not living that way in their own lives. That's going to scare them. You're like a giant mirror, a giant reflection of them, of how unhappy they are and how mediocre their lives are. So you gotta take that into consideration. But I like the fact that you're hanging out with other people, other friends. You're reconnecting with old friends that are in the same place in life that you are. And at the end of the day, I mean, you're going out with 3 or 4 different women a week. It's like, this is a new experience for you. Just enjoy it. Keep having a good time with it. Like I said, if you handle your wife, like your ex-wife to be, like we talked about, and then spend some quality time with your daughter and your son. That'll really help your relationship to get a lot stronger with them. Just getting them to open up. Remember, your daughter, she's also a young woman. She's almost, she's another year or so, she's going to be 18. She's going to be an adult. So it's like you treat all women the same, just like I talk about in my book. Get her to open up, get her to communicate, get her to talk. When she's bitchy, she's pissed off, there's obviously things inside of her that she needs to talk about. By talking about those things, it will diffuse the situation and it will bring the two of you closer together, and she'll be daddy's little girl again and want to sit in your lap and hug you and cuddle and kiss with you and trust you and open up to you and tell you everything that's going on in her life about the guys that she's dating or interested in at school and stuff like that. And especially with all this new knowledge that you're getting, you can actually give her advice. You can give her insight that will help her. It will help her have better quality relationships and not make the same kinds of mistakes that you have made. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions. And I will talk to you soon.